Welcome to the Juggling the Chaos of Recovery podcast, where we focus on health and wellness and overcoming all types of addictions. You're in the right place if you're a mom, dad, sibling, or caregiver who has a loved one who is or was struggling with an eating disorder or any other kind of addiction. In a time where everything seems heavy, I'm here to bring you a very real, yet lighthearted take on what the heck we're all supposed to do with our lives while we care for our loved ones who are struggling. One thing holds true throughout it all. You can't juggle the chaos without smiling. At least a little bit. Well, welcome back. This is Moira. So thankful that you have come back to listen, and I can't thank you enough for listening to my podcast, supporting this, sharing it with others. It's just me today, and I've been wanting to record this for a couple of weeks now, and so glad I found some time to sit down and record this because it's just really important to share these things. Again, I've been so grateful that so many of you have supported this. I started sharing a couple of years ago because I was learning so much. And if you have been following me, my daughter's been on a journey of her eating disorder and OCD and recovery and treatment and things like that for the last 7 years. I've recovered from an eating disorder myself. It's been difficult as a mother to watch those around me that I love struggle. And I've learned so much. And I've shared stories of hope. And I'm so, so grateful that the message continues to get out. And I'm so humbled by the support. And honestly, if I can help one person have a better day or one mom have a better day and feel like she's not alone, then I feel like all my effort is worth it. So I just want to start by saying thank you. And thank you to Andrew, who helps to make these podcasts sound really awesome. He's my editor and really supports me and helps me out. So thank you, Andrew. But really today I want to talk about celebration because the fact of the matter is our daughter, Anna, has been home since the end of January. And people keep, when she asks, how's your daughter doing? Is she still home? And I'm like, she's home. I mean, she's out of treatment and she's home and we're celebrating that. And they're like, oh, I didn't know she was still there. I mean, people have gotten used to her being in and out and maybe not home and things like that, but she is home and it's something to celebrate. And so I want to talk a little bit about that today. Her story is hers to share. And if you haven't heard her podcast that she helped me do in February, I'll put it in the show notes, but on my 2-year anniversary, as well as Eating Disorder Awareness Week, she started to tell part of her story, and I'm so grateful for that. So I'm not here to tell her story. I'm here to tell just kind of what's going on and my feedback and things like that, and my part of the story, and just to encourage you and, again, leave her story up to her. But it's really important to talk about this celebration and the fact that she's been home since the end of January, and it's June 8th, the day that I'm recording this, and this will go out for all of you to listen to on the 10th of June. And that's a long time. It may seem like a short time, but that's a long time. She tends to, she's just, been in and out of treatment. She's had so many struggles. And often when she's come home, she hasn't been committed to recovery. And so we've seen the struggle, and then we no sooner need to find another place for her to go to get the support. And so I first of all want to say what a blessing it is to have her here, and we're celebrating that she's on such a great path of recovery. Now, somebody told me a therapist told me one time from one of her treatment places, said, when I was saying, it's hard as a mom to watch this, she said, what you can remember is to never give up hope. I never give up hope that she will recover and that she will have better days. But she said, stop with all the expectations. And that was really hard to hear, but it's that roller coaster. If you've heard my podcast episode on roller coaster, it's up and down, things are going great, right? And then they don't go great and you go down the roller coaster, and it says up and down. And we have these expectations that when she says things are good, that they're going to continue to be good and they're going to continue to be better. And the fact of the matter is, it's not always that. And as harsh as that sounds, it has been helpful for me. But I do lead with love, and I do lead with that hope that she will continue to be on this positive journey. A big part of that the fact that we can celebrate is that positive mindset. I've talked about ketamine before. You can check that podcast episode with Blake Freedom. We talked about ketamine. I believe ketamine was a game changer for Anna with her mindset and her neuro reprogramming. And it's an incredible, incredible treatment for some people that are going through this. And so, again, I truly believe that that's part of her positive mindset is because of that treatment that she received. But again, we're here celebrating that. And, it's the first time that she's been home for this long of time, in a long time. And so it's wonderful to have her here. I really feel like a blessing too is that I have 4 children, 3 boys and Anna, and my boys are not living here. And so when she came home, she had the house to herself, besides my husband and I, and it gives her a chance to just set up her stuff, not be distracted by somebody else's behavior, triggered by something else happening, or, this or that, or whatever with siblings and things like that. It's just her. She's repainted her room. She's put a different bed in there. She's moved some things around. She's reestablished herself in this environment, which has been triggering in the past for her, for sure, as she's come home and then relapsed. But it's given her a chance to just be here with her and do what she needs to do and to reestablish, honestly, her relationship with her parents and with the house and in this area and things like that. And so I say that she's doing well, but we also know that it's one day at a time. We have talked many times about how when things get tough before, when things have gotten tough before, she's kind of thrown in the towel, if you will, and said, forget it. I'm not even going to try. Life's not worth living. This really sucks. It's so hard. And just kind of gives up and then relapses so terribly to the point that she needs the help and we need to send her back to treatment. But this time, she's like, no, I'm staying out. But that doesn't negate the fact that there are hard days. And there certainly are hard days. And I've seen hard days for her. And we've talked about the fact that this time you're deciding to move forward with your life, right? And it's choosing to just get through the hard days and not give up and not give in to those voices in your head, even though the voices are still very loud sometimes. But the fact that has that goal and that commitment, and that mindset, which I think is so, so positive, to just work hard and to be open to the fact that she says, I'm having a hard day. I'm having a hard time. I'm having a bad mental health day, or I'm having a really great day, and being open to that. And what I've learned through that is to say, I hear you. I see that you're having a struggle. What can I do to support you? And who can you talk to? Who can support you? How can you get the help that you need? Now, before I would have been like, all this advice and all this, and what about this, and what about this, and what about this? Maybe you should see this. And I've learned as a mom, okay, who can you talk to? Again, how can I support you? But Anna has a tremendous support team outside of treatment. And anybody listening to this, when somebody comes out of treatment, you need that. You need that support of the therapist, the dietitian, the psychiatrist, the friends, the church, the support groups, whatever it is, definitely need that. And so I've learned to just, again, hear her say, I know it's really hard. I don't always understand, but I love you. What can I do to help you? Instead of offering all that advice. But those are things I definitely want to say about Anna. I always love to talk about more and more, but definitely for sure, those kind of things, and celebrating that she's here. People have said, oh, is your daughter still home? I'm like, she is. I'm like, wow, that's, again, in and out roller coasters and things like that. I'm like, yeah, she's home and she's doing well. And having that, just putting that positiveness out into the world, yes, she's doing well. But what I've learned through this and what it has become, I just continue to learn, is about boundaries. I've learned so much about boundaries, and not just about hey, you got to be home on time and things like that, right? It's not all about curfews and things like that, but it's, boundaries are how we teach other people how to treat us. Have you ever heard that? I have, a lot. But it's those boundaries of okay, this is acceptable, this is not acceptable. The way that you talk to me or what you're doing, that's not acceptable. Or you said this and you did this and that's not acceptable. Having that conversation, having those boundaries with other people. But I've learned so much about the boundaries just even with myself. If it's if I'm having a tough mental health day, and because of what I'm seeing with Anna or with my business or with life or with my other kids or whatever, knowing those boundaries myself and to say, guess what? I got to go take care of myself. I need to go have a mental health day, or I need to go for a walk by myself, or I'm going to go take a bath, or I'm going to do some meditation or journaling, or I'm going to go garden, or whatever the case is. But just learning so much more about boundaries. I thought I was really good at boundaries, and perhaps I was, but I've learned so much more about the boundaries within, again, with myself, my boundaries with others, what's acceptable, what's not acceptable, and learned so much about that. There's been plenty of times that as a mom, I think we just sit there and we take it and we take it, and the kids are yelling at us or this or that or whatever, and just being able to speak up to say, guess what, that's not acceptable. So I know you're having a hard time, but if it's going to go like that, if our conversation is going to go like that, let's just end it now, and perhaps we'll regroup another time. But boundaries has been such a big thing that I have learned about and continue to learn about. I've learned about letting it go. Like letting things go and to not let things bother me as much. If you heard some of my podcasts before, I'm reading the Greatest Salesman in the World, the 10 different scrolls from Og Mandino. Very, very interesting and challenging. And one of them is I will laugh at the world. And it's often very, very helpful for me. I'm just going to laugh. I'm going to think, what, this too shall pass. I'm going to let it go. Let go a comment that's said by somebody, or something that Anna said, or something that I saw on social media, or my husband said, or something, whatever. I'm just going to let it go. I learned a couple of months ago, I was at a VIP women's networking thing. And we talked about blessing and releasing. Bless and release. Yes, that's not really what I'm happy about, or da-da-da-da-da. I'm just going to bless and release. Bless and release. Let it go. Let it go. It makes our days so much better. It makes my days so much better if I can bless and release. Not always easy, but bless and release. Let it go. And know that these kind of things shall pass, right? But I've also learned that there's times to speak up, right? There's times to be quiet and there's times to speak up. Before, I would have kept quiet about a lot of things, but these days, again, many times I do stay quiet and I let it go, but I know that there's a time for me to speak up and say, hey, guess what? This isn't acceptable. Or guess what? It seems like you're struggling. It seems like you're having a hard time. Like, I don't feel comfortable leaving you, or I don't feel comfortable with this. I don't feel comfortable with what I'm seeing. This is what I'm seeing. Can you help me understand that a little bit more? Speaking up and asking for that verification, if you will, and speaking up to say, hey, that's just not helpful for me, or speaking up to say, hey, this is really important to me, and so maybe you don't like it. And it's not always, again, this isn't always just focused on my daughter, but just in general, like, maybe you don't like this, but this, again, is really important to me, that type of thing. But I've learned to speak up, and I've just learned to lead with love. And Anna came to me, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago and said, Mom, I just feel like I want to spend some more time with you. And I'm like, okay. And she said, but I feel like you're busy. Like, I can't find time to spend with you or whatever. And I said, okay, first of all, I said, really what I want you to hear is that I've gotten used to you not being around here. Or when you've come back, like, you haven't been here for long, and it's kind of like helpful for my heart to, again, not have that expectation that you're going to be here, even though I never give up hope, right? But it was so hard for me to, like, put all this love and support, and then all of a sudden she's gone again. And I said, so I've gotten used to you being not around, but guess what? I am completely committed to creating new habits and new memories and new things that we can do together. So just put your hand up, if you will, and say, hey, Mom, can we have dinner together this week? And what night would be really good? Or, hey, we had a lovely time. My sister is getting married. When you listen to this, she's getting married the next day. And she needed a dress for the wedding. And we went shopping together. I love shopping with my daughter. We've had some wonderful times. And it hasn't, we haven't had a chance to do that. And we went and we spent, and I said, okay, let's look at the week. This is the time that'll work for me. I committed. I'm just going to pencil it in and say, or, mark it off. I'm not going to schedule anything. We're going to go. And I said, okay, let's go shopping. And we had this wonderful time. Again, I schedule it in. She scheduled it in. We went and got it done, but we got to spend time together. And I said, let's just sit down and talk about, like, what do we want to do together? You know, do we want to go for walks? Do we want to go rock climbing? Do we want to go shopping? Do we want to go do a cooking class? Whatever. But again, I got used to you not being around. And so I went on with my life. I had to find things to bring myself joy. And I did that. And now you're here. Let's figure out a way to create, again, some new memories and to reestablish these relationships. And I have to believe, if you're a mom or a dad listening to this that's had a child struggle with addictions or issues or been in and out of treatment, like, your relationship changes. Ours have changed so much. And when it gets back to the point where your child is a little healthier, you know, it's time to reestablish. And it's really exciting. And it's still, you have kind of like, but it is exciting to figure out a way to reestablish a relationship, create some new memories, new things, new fun and things like that. And I said, I'm completely committed to it. So, but just again, sometimes you have to remind me, like, hey, and I'll commit to reminding you, like, hey, can we go do this? Can we plan on this? Because this is something I want to do. I asked her a while back. I go, hey, I want to go see a movie tonight. She's like, nah, I don't really like movies. I mean, she likes movies, but she goes, I fall asleep too much in movies. So I found a couple other girlfriends, and we went to see the new Top Gun movie together, and we went out to dinner afterwards, because I know that my girlfriends, those two, will always go to movies with me. So it's exciting, again, to figure out how we can create those new things together. And I want to kind of wrap it up by saying, you know, today is Best Friends Day. Did you know that? And my best friend was over the other day, who's in my wellness business with me. I've known her for 22, 23 years, and she is my best friend. And I love what she said the other day when she was over. She talked about hearing a Madonna song. You remember Madonna? I mean, I'm 58. You know, Madonna she was an icon she was pretty progressive and pretty something when she came into the music scene. And she said, you know, she said they were doing yard work and playing music and playing the 80s. And she said, you know, this song by Madonna, Holiday, came on. She goes, I was listening to it. You know what? And I listened to it after she told me that. I listened to it right before this podcast. The words are pretty simple. I mean, music back then was a little simpler than today, but the words are simple, and I really encourage you to listen to it. Find it on your phone or on YouTube or whatever and play it, because, you know, the words are pretty cool. You know, it talks about it's time to celebrate. Let's take a holiday and put our troubles down. Forget about the hard times. Celebrate the good times. You know, one day out of life. Sorry, I get emotional about it. It was really so simple, but like, we need to do more of that. Like, just put our troubles down and celebrate. Like, take some time. It would be so nice. You can hear the words, right? You can hear the music. I mean, that's what it is. And she talks about let love shine, celebrate, spread the word. One day out of our life, can we take some time to celebrate? Have a holiday. So simple, but so really the message I want to, you know, send out today is that life can be hard. Times can be hard. Struggles can be tough. These awful addictions and disorders, they're tough. Struggles today, there's some tough stuff going on, but there are also things to celebrate. And we need to, you know what I think is important to do is just take that time. Let's take some time. Let's commit to putting our troubles down and getting together and celebrate. Do a dance. Just celebrate. Give your friends a hug or whatever. Just let your love shine, and it would be so nice. And I can't thank Pam enough for, you know, reminding me of that wonderful song that Madonna came out with years ago, because it's just a reminder of just taking that time to celebrate. And it's so important. And that's what I keep hearing every day as I continue to see my daughter home with us and when she comes in the door and she starts talking and then she says, what was I talking about? Because she talks so much and she has so much joy inside of her and it makes me so happy. And yes, there's been troubles and there will continue to be struggles and trouble in her life and in our lives and things like that. But guess what? What we need to do and the important things that we need to do is to take the time to celebrate. Put those troubles aside. Forget about the bad times for just a couple minutes, for just a couple of days, and celebrate what is happening in front of you because it's good. There is good in the world. There are the struggles. And if we lead, if we, start our days with love in our heart, if we lead with love, then we can feel good. And guess what? We can spread that love to other people around us. And then maybe the world will just be a little bit better because we shared that love and we celebrated. So that's my message today is, again, let's lead with love. Let's let the love shine out there. Spread a word of celebration, of a holiday. Come on, it's time to celebrate. And again, when you're listening to this, I don't know when it is, if it's the day that it launches or later on, but I'm excited to celebrate my daughter being here. I'm excited to celebrate my sister getting married to a wonderful man. They found each other. Both were married previously and found each other about 5 years ago. And I'm so excited to celebrate their love on Saturday, celebrate together as a family. It's going to be a good day. Going to be a really great day, as a matter of fact. And really looking forward to celebrating more and more great days, not only with my daughter, but with my family and with my friends and going forward. And I hope that you can find the time to just, stop for a minute, slow down enough to say, hey, you know what? This is good and it's worth celebrating. If you need some inspiration, find that song and turn it on really loud and dance around and listen to the words. Listen to those words because they are very simple, but they are so, so powerful and we need to celebrate more. So thanks for listening. Again, celebrating you, celebrating that I have this platform to share out there with you. Again, grateful for you. Thanks for listening. Please share this with others and continue to like and share and come back and listen. If you have a story to share, please do that with me as well. If you know somebody that needs to hear this, please share it too. But again, go and celebrate today. Go celebrate this life. It's worth living. It's worth celebrating. Thankful for you, and we'll talk to you next time. Thanks for listening. If you like this podcast, head over to iTunes and leave me a 5-star review. Share it with others and make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a thing. I've got a tribe over on Facebook, so head over there and search for Juggling the Chaos of Recovery Podcast Tribe. And do you know somebody who has a story to share, a story of recovery and hope? Please let me know, as I'd love to feature them as a guest on one of these next upcoming podcasts. And perhaps you're looking for a community of like-minded, collaborative, and supportive people who cheer each other on as we strive to improve our lives. If that sounds like something you've been looking for, schedule some time with me. You'll find the links in the show notes. Let's talk, and let me help you find your way. And I'm here to tell you that you're worth it.